And I think we are live. So, hello everyone. Welcome to New Ambassadors Theater Lab 35. This is the last of the labs that will have more than three. That will only be once a month. From this point on, we will be doing two labs with three playwrights, which means more playwrights and more often. My name is David Adam Gill. I'm the Artistic Director for New Ambassadors Theater Company, and it's my honor to present our Managing Director, Jackie Silver, who will be hosting this evening.
Hi, guys. As David said, I am the fairly new Managing Director for New Ambassadors, and this is my first time hosting a lab, which I'm really excited to be a part of. I think new work, especially now, is just so important to keep active, keep learning, keep growing as artists, actors, directors, and the fact that we can do this all live on YouTube, on Zoom, and just, keep working right now across the country, I think is fantastic. So this is Lab 35. If you are new to New Ambassadors, we are a 501c3 company based in Manhattan. The nonprofit status means that if you like what you see and you want to make any donation, it is tax deductible, and every little bit helps. We are trying to raise some money because, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, our last show, all of the money we got from Brown Paper Tickets, they've been holding on to. They're declaring bankruptcy, there's lawsuits, all kinds of things. So we do have an active fundraiser right now to try and recoup some of that. It's been really successful, but anything else can help as we're trying to rebuild and get some more programming happening as soon as New York opens up fully for theater, which hopefully will be soon. The lab program,
Jackie, I'm sorry, I'm just going to add to that. You can go to the fundraiser on Facebook, but you can also do Venmo and or go to our website, and there is a donation link there, and we'll post those links.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. This lab program, it's a reading series for new and in-process works. So we'll be reading 4 pieces this evening, and after every piece, we encourage you to give any feedback that you have during the session. We in the Zoom room will be participating in the feedback as well, and anyone watching can also participate through a Google form, and there will be a link for that in the chat later on. Our feedback is generally consists of, popcorn moments, whatever stood out to you, whatever questions you might have while you're listening, and anything that you might want to see developed as the piece moves on, as well as anything the writer might ask us to pay specific attention to. So before each piece, they might give you a little something that they're working on or something that they want you to be looking for as you're reviewing the piece. And we really highly encourage in-the-moment reactions in the chat. So if you'd like to be involved in a future lab, you can sign up via some forms that we're going to put in the chat as well as a writer, or join the pool of actors for the next lab as well. And if you want to keep up with us, you can find New Ambassadors on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, and of course on our website, where you can sign up for our newsletter to hear about whatever else we have moving forward. So without any further ado, we're going to go with our first piece, which is called Stone Cold Crazy. It's by Benjamin Dworkin, and we have Chase Naylor playing Chad, Maylee Binion playing Cassandra, and Mark Hoffmeyer doing the stage directions. So Ben, do you want to say anything to our audience before things get started?
Yes, I do. So this piece started out in the very beginning as a prompt in David Adam Gill's playwriting class. It was basically a prompt where I had to take a song title from my iPhone and use the shuffle feature, and then the first song that came up, write a play using that song title. And then I put it down for a little bit to focus on other plays, but I picked it up recently and started expanding it to be a short play. And so this play is basically about a politician's son that comes home one night drunk, and he comes home to the babysitter that is watching his little toddler, Maddie. And
don't give it away, Ben. Don't give it away.
Okay, well, just enjoy.
Guillermo, if you wouldn't mind putting off your camera, thank you.
Stone Cold Crazy, a short sketch by Ben Dworkin. Characters: Chad Fairview, son of a wealthy politician. Cassandra Stanton, an attractive babysitter. Lights up on Cassandra organizing the kitchen. It's the middle of the night. Think 1 a.m. Chad enters in a business suit, all wasted. He is sweating.
Shit, it's late. Oh.
My God, you look like hell.
You think? God damn it. My father is a piece of crap.
Chad throws his coat across the room.
So you've said.
I can't even get a word into him.
Chad breathes heavily, goes to the liquor cabinet in the corner of the kitchen and pours himself a drink.
The old man drives me crazy when it comes to his campaign. I told him that I have to come home to relieve you.
Hey, take it easy. Maddie is passed out. He and I had so much fun while you were gone. We played, I fed him and rocked him to sleep.
I mean, those dirty liberal politicians can't even get their stories straight. It drives me crazy that he falls for it every time.
To be honest, you're not late.
I am. I told you I'd be home at 10, and I wasn't.
I know, but I don't take set ending times for working lightly. I could use the extra cash.
I appreciate that. He needs that kind of love. My wife gets so occupied, and literally me with my dad's campaign, I do too. We never get a break.
Maddie is so adorable. It makes me want a little one. So snuggly.
Remind me to write you a check before you go.
I'd be happy to stick around until you settle. I can make a little coffee.
Chad sits on the couch and breathes.
No, you can go.
Really? You seem out of it. I have no plans afterwards. I can tend to the little guy if he wakes up.
Thank you.
You're very lucky to have such a cute little one. He and I have so much fun together.
Chad takes a drink.
His mother travels constantly, and I feel like I'm the one that has to nurture him, but I can't. It's unsettling. Here I am. My father's running for the Senate, and I'm overwhelmed, and I just stare at the TV out at a bar while other campaign staffers.
So no biggie. You can be out late all you want. Maddie is so good with me.
Chad flips the TV on with a remote.
You and my son are really hitting it off. It makes me feel like I want to redo my childhood all over again.
It's like my own. You should see all the fun we have. I like taking him for rides in the stroller and just singing with him.
My father wasn't that crazy about hiring one of those young babysitters like you. I only had one when I was a kid. My father waited until I was a little older to hire a young one. I think I was 11 when it happened. Before that, the only child care I had was a Nigerian elderly lady, and she had no idea how to take care of me.
Shame. Your father should have known better.
I remember being in the first grade, and I would come home with mixed emotions because I knew the second that I walked into the door, he and my mom were going off on either a business trip or a date night and leaving me and my brother with somebody who didn't even know a single thing about my daily routines.
Well, must be hard on you that old man is still into it.
And my mom died in a car accident after my 12th birthday, and that's when my father really got busy. It took a lot to let go and get out of the house to live my own life. That's when I met my wife, Claire. She and I were really grateful when Maddie was born. It was like a dream come true. And my dad, he didn't even care. He never does, and he never will.
Chad takes a drink. Cassandra notices the TV.
Chad, you need a break from this campaign stuff.
Cassandra grabs the remote from the coffee table and clicks off the TV.
Come on, my dad has me all into it. I need to see the recaps.
Chad attempts to grab the remote, but Cassandra stops him.
No, you are exhausted. You are worn out. You're too drunk to go up and see Maddie, who just fell asleep.
Chad settles on the couch.
Why don't I stay for a little? You're worn out. My roomies aren't expecting me home for a while. You look like you had a long day. Let me give you a back rub?
Please,
I insist. As a matter of fact, I might have some coffee left over. It'll get that toxic alcohol out of you.
Cassandra walks to the corner of the room and prepares coffee.
So Maddie didn't cause a fuss while I was making noise for the old man. I'm impressed.
As I said, he's a bundle of joy. If he were my child, I'd dedicate my life to him, as I definitely would to any child someday.
That's the real deal when it comes to life in San Diego. What brought you here?
My aunt is out here, and she has more liberal views, like me, of course, and they offer the best when it comes to majoring in education and child development.
Cassandra brings over a cup of coffee for Chad.
Here, it'll relieve your stress.
Chad drinks out of his cup.
It's just how you like it.
Cassandra massages Chad's shoulders. Chad breathes a sigh of relief.
Well, you're not just a babysitter, you're a masseuse too.
On the side. But taking care of those kiddos is where I make my bucks. College is not cheap.
Cassandra scratches gently on Chad's chest. He shrugs.
Glad to be a support. Every young girl needs a good college education.
Chad's cell phone rings.
Get that later.
I have to.
You don't?
Cassandra kisses Chad.
That should shut you up.
You're like a tiger.
That's only phase 1.
Cassandra continues to rub Chad's chest with her fingertips.
Now, phase 2.
Cassandra starts to undress Chad.
Look at you. You're perfect.
Chad and Cassandra continue to kiss. Then Chad's cell phone rings again.
It's probably my wife.
It can wait. She's in Philly. She isn't due home until tomorrow. This gives us the whole night.
I'm not sure about this.
You seem so scattered. Relax.
Cass, I can't.
Can't what?
Chad struggles as he's reacting to the coffee.
There's no turning back. You did agree to let me stay.
I did. But for Maddie, not for me.
Shh.
Cassandra gets on top of Chad.
You crazy. My father?
Is a piece of crap. Why don't we impress the guy? Show him what kind of man you are. Call it stone cold.
Well,
Come on. It's a beautiful night. Cherish it. What's the big hesitation about?
Chad struggles.
I'm just giving you relief. Don't you want it? You were out almost all night. You're a real party animal.
Cassandra slams Chad's back on the couch, kisses him.
Just relax. We can do whatever you like.
Chad and Cassandra aggressively kiss. As they do, Chad struggles.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
what'd you do?
Chad passes out.
That's the spirit.
Cassandra gets up from the couch, picks up Chad's cell phone, turns it off, and arranges his body to make it look like he's sleeping.
A little nappy nap while you think about how much you're not as loyal to my little Maddie. Scrawny conservative bastard you are.
Cassandra goes over to the counter, takes a pair of gloves, slips them on. Chad rolls over and mumbles.
That's right. Sleep tight. Some sick father you are. Always thinking about politics.
A toddler crying in the distance. She puts on a little evil smile.
Oh. Well, I haven't forgotten about you, little guy.
Cassandra exits. 10 seconds later, she comes out with a blanket, wrapped like a young child is in it.
Oh, you ready to have some fun with me, little one?
The child is crying.
There.
Cassandra soothes the baby as she takes out her phone from her pocket and takes a selfie. She poses.
Smile, Maddie. Smile.
Child continues to cry.
Look, Maddie. Watch me kill your daddy.
Cassandra walks over to the corner of the room, puts the child down in a chair. She takes a syringe out of her pocketbook, walks over to Chad, and inoculates him, killing him. The child continues to cry. Cassandra turns to the child wrapped in the blanket, picks him up, and soothes it again.
No more daddy. You have me now. My roomies are gonna love you.
Cassandra rocks the child.
Maddie, don't cry. I'm here now. Let's go home.
Cassandra grabs her purse from the corner of the room. As she exits, she gives Chad's body an evil look, sneaks out with the child who is still crying. As she is exiting, she lights a match and ignites the curtains. Soon, the entire room is in flames. Lights fade to black.
Whoa. Wow.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Great job, Ben, on that. And thank you to our actors for participating. So for those of you who want to give feedback, there was a link in the chat. But just to get started, what were the kind of popcorn moments for you guys? What grabbed your attention? I saw a lot of stuff in our chat here talking about little switches, like, oh, get that money, and things like that. So what about you guys? What kind of stayed with you? I'm looking for some hands. Oh my goodness, so many. I'll go with John and Jen. Let me see if I can unmute you. Let me find you on here. Sorry, first time going through all of
They
them.
should be able to unmute themselves, Jackie.
Awesome. All right, good. Because there's so many names on here, scrolling through.
Yeah, for me, the scratching on the chest was that's where I felt like the world shift underneath me. That was definitely a popcorn moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone else have their hand raised? Yeah, Erin?
For me, the first time when she first mentioned how much she wanted a baby and how good a mom she would be to Maddie, that stood out to me like, oh, she's like, he's such a good baby. We have such a special bond. And I was like, oh.
Oh, yeah. I definitely agree on that moment. I've been a nanny, and actually the kid I was leaving today, and he literally started crying when I was leaving and the mom was in the room. It can be an awkward situation. Absolutely, for sure. Anyone else have feedback for Ben or actors who are in it? Have any, responses you want to give to the playwright or talk about your experience here?
Yeah. When going into the piece or like reading it for the first time and then when we were in our breakout rooms, you think like Chad's gonna lead the charge. He sort of is painted as this morally gray character. I love that it sort of switches. Like he obviously has his faults and his views and everything like that, but then the charge switches and you think like it's sort of like the shoes on the other foot kind of situation where I thought it was really kind of like a oh shit moment. Sorry. An oh shoot moment.
I don't think we mind that, but yeah, we can try and keep it PG. Yes, David.
Sorry, I was on mute. I just wanted to say, Matt, how absolutely blown away. I obviously we've been working on this, and the things you added to the characters in order to make them more three-dimensional and give them background and give them motivation was really great. You really did such a fine job in making these characters three-dimensional. And again, I think the big popcorn moment is the big switch at the end where all of a sudden the thing that you didn't see coming, which is that this babysitter is stone cold crazy and had her eye on this infant and decided that she was going to find a way to take it. Well done.
Absolutely. Yeah, again, Jonathan.
Yeah, I want to say I was really, what I loved about it is that like every couple minutes I thought I was watching a different scene and it kept evolving. I constantly thought I knew where it was going and it would change just subtly every now and then. I'm like, okay, now I know where it's going to go. Okay, now I know where it's going to go, but I never knew. And that was great. So very good work, Ben.
Great, thank you. And I mean, speaking of that, so development wise, what do you guys think you might want to see as far as this going in the future? Do you have any idea of where this scene might lead to or what you would like to see it go towards? Yeah, Chase?
I want to see how the roommates react when she shows up with Maddie. Like she gets there because Chad's dead. His storyline is, kaput. But when she shows up with a baby, I want to know if her roommates like are aware of how crazy she is or if they are in on it or if they're going to be like, if it turns it into a whole new play where they're like, where did you get this baby from? Like, I would definitely be interested to see that.
Absolutely. Yes, David.
I beg to differ that Chad's storyline is kaput. I mean, he was just brutally murdered. Chad's gonna pop up somehow, some way within wherever Ben decides to take this.
Yeah, I mean, there are more brutal ways to go than a shot from the hot young nanny, but you know, for sure. No, I'm curious. I mean, I'm a New Yorker. Like, that's a free apartment. I bet he's got, you know, auto pay on the mortgage, and you know, she could probably live the life for a minute, maybe pretending that he went to meet up with his wife, you know, where she's working out of town or something, you know, and she could try and kind of stay in that posh apartment without the roommates for a minute. Chase is cracking up at my idea. I'm sorry. I'm a New Yorker, man. You know, real estate and rent, that mortgage payment, you know. Anyone else? Weekend at Chad's, we're getting in the chat on this side. Absolutely. Yeah, right. You know, find some way to get him like to walk out of the apartment or something. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Anyone have anything else that they want to say to Ben? Or Ben, do you have anything you want to say as far as the feedback you've gotten, or any insight as to what does happen next that you want to share with us?
Well, for one thing, I would like to see this possibly in Fear Fest, but I wouldn't be surprised if it were a longer piece. And I would take Chase's advice and make it the next part being with the roommates. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, David wants to give a little feedback, sure.
So you know, you saw this as a play within itself then, right? And I feel that, you know, whatever anyone's thoughts about what they would like to see, you know, where they'd like to see it go, you know, the development of it, it might be interesting to see if you can implement that into what you already have as well, and keep it a one act and make it a sharper one act. And again, Ben, I told you, this is probably some of the best writing you've done. This is a really good contender for a Fear Fest. It's terrifying, especially with Miley doing it. Oh my God, every time she looked and smiled, I was like, she's gonna eat somebody.
The Prey Theater's open by the time Fear Fest happens, and we put this on stage with Miley and possibly
I'm pretty optimistic about it, buddy.
I mean, if this happens at Fear Fest, I'm gonna be making history. I'm like, it'll be my biggest win I've ever had. Like, you know, Miley playing a babysitter that kills the father. I mean, people would pay big bucks to new ambassadors to see it. And then I would be praised forever for it. I would be praised forever. And like, you know,
you worked really, really hard.
People will finally look at me as a playwright with autism that could actually write so much and be like all of you. You know, this is why I'm hoping that this play makes it to Fear Fest. Jen,
and I want to say one thing. The fact that you've written this play makes you already a playwright like us. I've told you know, you have to, you think, and therefore you are. You're doing such great work. You're working really hard, and it's showing, man. Be proud.
If this doesn't make it into Fear Fest, I mean, I could make it other places, and like, you know, I could succeed at this, you know. Literally, we could do this. Like,
yeah, you put in so much work, Ben, and it definitely shows. I haven't been with the company for as long, obviously, as David or a lot of other people here, but this definitely is a work that left a lot of questions in my mind. I do want to know what happens next. And for me, that's so much of any theater is, you know, you leave the room and you want to know, you care about the people. And I feel like from all this feedback, we all know that everyone really, you know, cared about these characters and what happened in the scene and all the vivid imagery and everything.
I mean, if Jennifer Downs played the babysitter, I would look at it just the same, because I saw her kill somebody at Shots. I saw her in the Shots piece. I saw her kill somebody.
Yeah, and that could be a different kind of festival where different actors do the same scene. We've seen that, you know, somewhere as well. So everyone has their
Yeah, I mean, down the road, I mean, the new ambassadors will develop into something strong after this.
Absolutely.
We will be strongly emerge. we will strongly emerge, you know.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Ben, for all your hard work on that. If anyone did not get to give their feedback, I did just share the link for the online feedback in the chat on here, and I'm sure it's on the YouTube as well. So we are going to move on, guys, to our next scene, which is Scavengers by David Adam Gill. We have Luis Quintero playing Brian, John Pena Griswold as Maxwell, Jennifer Downs as Fanny, Aaron Mohan as Nate, Evan Edwards as Sissy Davis, John Austin Wiggins as Roger, Frankie Laplace as Augustine, and stage directions from David Michael Kirby. Before we start, David, anything you would like to say as far as setting all this up for our audience?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Jackie. So this is a series that I've been working on, and because it's a series, of course, it's told through serial. There are things that have happened before, and there are things that are going to happen after. But my question is my question is pretty basic. Do you get a sense of who the characters are, what they might be going through, and are they interesting? Is the situation are the situations that they're going through interesting? This is kind of an episode-ish. I've taken parts of it out so that we kind of get a linear storytelling within the scene that's going to be read. I love these people. I think they are wonderful in these roles, and that's it. Thank you, David. You have the hardest job, I believe, as stage directions. I'm just going to let it go. Thank you.
Scavengers, Episode 7. Exterior Brownstone in Prospect Heights, Brooklyn, Friday morning. Brian lets himself into the garden apartment, shuts the door. Cut to interior garden apartment foyer. Next moment. Brian takes off his jacket and hangs it on a set of wooden pegs attached to the wall just inside the door. He kicks off his shoes, then opens another door leading into the apartment. He shuts the door, and we can see him make his way into the room through the door window.
Daddy!
Chipmunk! We hear footsteps running towards Brian, who stoops down below the window out of sight. Cut to interior garden apartment living room. Next moment. Brian squats, embracing his son Nate. Fanny peeks out through archway to the kitchen, making a point of looking at her watch.
Sorry, the train.
I'm going to be late.
Fanny comes out of the kitchen with a brown bag in her hand and her gym bag over her shoulder.
I can't help the trains, Fan.
Daddy!
If we're going to do this, you need to take this more seriously, Brian.
Daddy!
I do. I am. Jesus, Fanny. I said I'm sorry.
Can we go visit Gus?
He hasn't stopped asking, so good luck with that.
Well, we'll go visit Gus. Just Daddy has some work to do first.
Fanny has the foyer door open and, grabbing her coat, puts it on.
I have a deadline. It's written in my head. It'll take an hour, 2 tops.
What do you expect me to do? You've made me late as it is.
Gus, 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 Gus.
Nate marches out of the room and out of frame.
Is Sissy around?
Fanny's putting on a hat and scarf. She's halfway out the door.
I don't know, I suppose.
Fanny's dressed for the coldest day of the year.
What's so funny?
It's like 50 degrees outside.
Annoyed, Fanny takes off the coat and looks for a lighter jacket to put on. She stops and points at Brian.
And do not leave him to his own devices. You're here to spend time with him, not write your damn Times piece.
My damn Times piece pays for his school tuition.
Not the point, Brian. And why do you always wait to the last minute? For everything.
Fanny throws her wool hat onto the bench, gives Brian a meaningful look, emphasizing with her eyes, then sticks her head through the foyer door.
Bye, Chipmunk. See you tonight.
Fanny turns to leave, thinks better of it, turns around, her face a little softer.
I'm sure Sissy is home. 2 hours. Then it's Nate time. Okay?
Okay.
Fanny moves to kiss him, hesitates, then kisses him on the cheek, and exits through the front door. Brian shuts the foyer door, picks up his bag from the floor, and walks towards the kitchen. We hear a loud crash from another room. Brian sighs, drops his bag to the floor, and takes out his cell phone. He dials as he walks out of frame in the direction of the sound.
Sissy, you busy?
Cut 2. Interior Central Park Zoo Polar Bear House, Saturday afternoon. Brian and Maxwell are standing at the window that looks underwater into the polar bear tank. Polar bear Gus is playing with a ball, grabbing it in his paws, taking it to the bottom of the pool, and letting it shoot back up to the surface.
We were born on the same day. Not the same year, the same day.
Which is?
November 3rd. I'm actually older than Gus by 5 years. He's the oldest polar bear in captivity.
A Scorpio.
Why do you say it that way?
No reason. So you're old friends, you and Gus?
When I was a kid, my dad took me to see him every Saturday afternoon until he left. My dad. I was 12 when he left.
I'm sorry.
After that, I came on my own.
Maxwell wipes his glasses on his shirt and puts them back on.
When they brought Bess in to meet him for the first time,
Yes.
oh, his mate, he was terrified, hid for days at a time. This alien being, right? Only came out when she was in the pool or asleep. He'd sneak up to wherever she was and sniff her. Then the second she woke or got too close, he'd back off into his cave. Such a scaredy cat.
Gus gets very close to the glass wall of the tank and pushes off it with his feet.
This one time, Beth was asleep and her leg kicked, like in a spasm. He sprung backwards so fast, he toppled over into the pool. It was so funny. Everyone laughed. Poor guy. Eventually, he got over his fear, or at least got used to her, and pretty soon they were together all the time. Used to make me kind of jealous.
Where's Bess?
Gus killed her.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was. We were there that afternoon, Nate and me. And then the next day, she was gone and the exhibit was closed.
Nate?
Yeah, it was such a shock. I used to wonder what could have happened that night to make him want to kill her. That maybe sometimes someone can only stand another someone so long before they need to, I don't know, get free of them. But Gus couldn't get into a car and drive to San Francisco. He was stuck, you know, trapped in a cage. Watching him afterwards, his loneliness and depression, I realized it wasn't that at all, I think.
Interior polar bear house next moment. Gus has disappeared. The pool is completely empty and still, a cool blue color. Max and Brian stand in front staring into it.
I think he became overwhelmed, you know, with her. I think she found his weakness, you know, that vulnerability in him, and he wasn't ready. I don't think he meant to hurt her. He just didn't know what else to do.
Max watches Brian closely. Brian puts his hand on the glass of the tank.
Who's Nate?
My son.
Oh.
Angle on Brian's hand in focus against the glass. Out of focus, polar bear Gus plunges into the pool. Focus switches to Gus as he floats suspended in mid-water, looking at Brian.
Let's go eat.
Cut to exterior Upper West Side Jackson Hole restaurant. Next moment. Brian and Max are seated at a table by the front window eating hamburgers. Brian is talking, Max listens, then asks a question. Dissolve to interior Jackson Hole restaurant, same moment.
He's 4,
Wow.
going on 40.
Does he know?
No.
Max takes a bite of his burger meaningfully.
I think he senses something, but if you're asking if I've told him, no, I haven't. Do you think I should?
It's none of my business. No.
So no.
No, I meant no, it's none of my business.
My friend Roger says I'm being a coward about it. He was at Film Forum that night.
Great.
Brian's cell phone vibrates.
Speak of the devil. Do you mind?
Max takes a long sip from his cup of soda. It freezes his brain and he opens his mouth and bugs his eyes out. He takes a quick bite of his burger.
Were your ears burning? Because we were just talking about you. This really hot guy I'm fucking right now while I'm talking to you.
Brian winks at Max. Max chokes on the burger in his mouth.
He says I must be lying because I wouldn't be the one doing the fucking.
Brian slinks down in his seat to wrap his feet around Max's. Max takes his glasses off, wipes them on his shirt, puts them back on.
I don't know. Let me ask. Apparently, there's this one-of-a-kind remastered Metropolis being shown at MoMA tonight, which, according to Roger, demands to be seen. Any interest?
What time?
What time? 6. And then we can do dinner at the Modern.
I have to meet my cousin at 5.
Can you get out of it?
She'd kill me. It's sort of a standing date. We go over family stuff.
Can you push it to 4?
You don't know Phyllis. That would be like stopping the moon from rotating.
The moon doesn't rotate.
Yeah, well, neither does Phyllis.
We're gonna have to pass.
No. You should go.
Hold on.
I mean, if you really want to see it, you should go.
You sure? Shut up, Roger. You sure?
God, yes, of course.
Okay. Roger? Okay, no, he can't. I I told him he'd be on your shit list, but somehow that doesn't hold much water with people who haven't met you yet. I'll ask him. How about dinner afterwards? He says then you can meet him and officially be put on his shit list. Come on, compromise is a good thing.
Can I let you know? Sometimes this thing runs on, and then Phyllis will want to grab a bite. I'd better say no.
Okay. Yeah, he'll text me when he's done with his cousin. I'll let him know where we are and he'll come and join us.
Brian winks at Max, who brightens up. He picks up his burger and starts eating with more gusto. Cut to exterior, Fanny's apartment building, dusk. Off camera, the sound of a microwave timer beeping. Dissolve to interior, Fanny's apartment, living room, same moment. Fanny's sitting on the couch, reading a book and making notes in a spiral notebook. Nate is lying on the floor coloring. The television is on. Fanny puts her book down, stands and goes into the kitchen. Through the archway, we see her open the microwave and take out a cup of tea. She carries it back into the room and places it on the side table and takes up her book again.
Mommy, what's gay?
Fanny's floored. She looks up from her book. Maybe she misheard him?
What?
What's gay mean?
Where did you hear that word?
Fanny looks to the TV to see what program is on. It's the Disney Channel.
What does it mean?
Well, it means happy.
Nate stops, puts his crayons down, and sits up, looking at her very seriously.
No, Mommy, what does it really mean?
Close up on Fanny's face. First bewilderment, then disappointment, then sadness shoots across her face. Pan to Fanny's point of view. Nate leans back against the couch, already onto the next thing, distracted by the television. She watches him intently. Cut to close up on Annie's face. There are tears in her eyes.
I feel like I let him down.
I don't see how.
It was such a simple question, and now I've complicated it.
Dissolve to interior, Fanny's apartment, living room, later. Fanny and Sissy Davis are sitting on her couch, each with a glass of wine in hand. There's a fire in the fireplace. Nate's coloring book and crayons are still on the floor. Fanny's crying.
And of course, fucking Brian's not around to help with the fucking mess he created. God. I'm sorry. I'm such a fuck up.
Baby girl, you're being too hard on yourself.
Now, Nate'll think there's something wrong with it because I didn't tell him outright, and he knows it.
So tell him outright.
Don't you think it's a little more complicated with us, with Brian?
Honey.
Maybe it's better he just puts it together on his own. And we keep our fingers crossed.
Did I ever tell you about my faux pas?
Which one in particular?
No, my grandmother's friend.
What do you mean by friend?
Her name was Inez Patel. She was a very dark-skinned Indian woman, and after my grandfather died, Inez moved in with her.
Were they lovers?
We were told to call her Auntie Inez, but she basically took over where my grandfather left off. She wore trousers and button-down shirts. She went to work, came home, sat at the head of the table.
A woman ahead of her time.
Right? So my sister and I started calling her faux pas.
Very clever.
My parents, for the most part, ignored the fact that Inez was a woman and that my grandmother lived with her as a kind of wife. I was very young when Granddad died, so all I ever knew was faux pas.
So you lived with it. It was normal to you.
Oh, not really. I watched my friends' parents and my own parents and figured there was something going on.
Shit.
And if I asked any questions, my parents would either change the subject or ignore me completely.
He's only 4.
But he's smart. He's gonna figure it out sooner or later. You want him to figure it out right. I can talk to him.
That's sweet of you, but it's my responsibility. And I want him to be able to come to me about anything.
Here's what you say. It's when a man loves a man or a woman loves a woman, like daddy loves mommy.
That would only confuse him more. He'll think gay people live apart and fight all the time.
Oh, well, honey, that ain't far from the truth.
It's strangely a great relief to hear you say that.
Baby girl, if you only knew the half of it.
Fanny moves closer to Sissy and hugs them. They, in turn, hug her tighter and they both sigh.
Girl, if we keep this up, we're gonna need to open up another bottle of wine.
Sissy raises their glass, Fanny clinks her glass against Sissy's, and they both take a sip.
Now, on to the gossip portion of our evening. What do you think of Brian's new ex-boyfriend?
What new ex-boyfriend?
Yikes. He hasn't told you?
Oh.
Max somebody.
Oh, God.
Apparently, he's one of those pocket gays.
There is no such thing.
Oh, yes. Tiny homosexuals about so high that slip into your pocket for easier transport.
Sissy, you're terrible.
Baby girl, it's why I pay the big bucks. Oh, baby girl.
Dissolve 2. Interior, the modern restaurant, Midtown Manhattan, same moment. Augustin and Roger are seated at a table in the back of the restaurant. Augustin is sipping beer out of a tall Pilsner glass. An empty Miller Lite bottle sits on the table. Roger is drinking his third vodka martini. Augustin is not happy about being left alone with Roger. He strains his neck to see where Brian is and what he's doing.
Oh, goodness gracious, he's only making a phone call. He hasn't abandoned you altogether yet.
Augustin squirms in his seat. He sits up straight and smooths his hair with his hands. Roger smirks.
What? There's something so unbelievably feline about the way you smooth your hair, like a cat grooms itself with its tongue.
What's that supposed to mean?
Listen, it's nothing to me, but other people might take it the wrong way.
Oh, so I suppose you mean Brian.
Well, don't you think you come off as being a little self-absorbed?
No, I mean, I just care about my appearance.
I've insulted you. That wasn't my intention.
Whatever.
Brian returns and putting his cell phone on the table, he sits. Augustin perks up.
He can't make it.
No, he'll be here. I set up an Uber for him.
Now, who is this new young stallion you'll be parading before us this evening?
It's a surprise.
I hate surprises.
I know.
Should we order food? I'm gonna order food.
He'll be here any minute. Mind if we wait?
I guess not.
Augustin starts playing with his fork and knife. Roger gulps down the rest of his martini. Brian looks from one to the other, sensing the tension building.
That Fritz Lang sure knows how to throw a party, huh?
Oh, magnificent, stunning.
Says Ben Brantley of the New York Times.
Who?
Oh, was not Bridget Helm the most stunning creature? Was not Gustav Froelich the embodiment of male beauty?
He was okay.
Okay.
To tell you the truth, I did not quite get it.
Get what?
Well, that woman, for one thing, was she really a robot or was she a real woman?
Yes.
She was a metaphor for the inner
You know
struggle.
what a metaphor is, don't you?
Yes.
Roger, don't be a douche.
He is a beautiful, obtuse creature. I want to help in his intellectual advancement.
I'm not obtuse.
You are. And that is the reason I adore you.
Roger puts his hand on Augustin's knee. Augustin pushes it off.
Get your hand off of me, Roger. I'm not going to tell you again.
Okay, maybe this wasn't such a good idea.
Maybe it wasn't.
I'll call him and tell him not to come.
No, don't do that. We apologize. Don't we apologize, Augustine?
Where is the waiter?
Augustin's point of view, scanning the room for the waiter, he spots Max as he's coming in the front door. He's still dressed as he was earlier in jeans and a sweatshirt and has his knapsack on his back.
Little fucker.
The waiter?
No, that jerk from the other night.
We're intrigued.
The guy from the film forum, the one who knocked you over and ran away. I'm going to say something to him.
Where is he?
Right there, standing by the bar.
Max.
Brian tries to get Max's attention by waving his arm. Augustin is confused, then surprised, then not very happy. Long shot. Max is looking around. He backs into someone, hitting them with his knapsack. He turns and, apologizing, takes it off his back. He looks worried. He takes his glasses off, wipes them on his shirt, puts them back on, then scans the room. His gaze moves past Brian, but then he spots him. He smiles apologetically and waves, then starts to make his way towards the table.
You're kidding me.
How interesting. And how did this all come about?
Augustin and Roger look to Brian for an explanation. He looks to Max, then looks at them.
I'll explain later. Just please behave, both of you. Augustin, sit down, will you? You look like you're ready to bite someone.
Max approaches the table. Brian smiles and gives him a hug.
Sorry, I didn't see you. This place is so big. Hello.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Roger holds out his hand. Max wipes his on his pants and takes it. They shake. Roger holds onto Max's hand after they've stopped shaking, so Max starts to shake it again.
This is my friend Roger, and this is Augustin.
Hi.
Augustin is cranky, so why don't we order some food?
That sounds great.
Max and Brian take their seats. Max looks around the dining room.
I don't think I'm dressed appropriately for this restaurant.
You look fine.
You look charming.
You hungry?
This time, yes.
This time?
They have really good pasta dishes here.
Sounds great.
Silence. Awkward moment. Augustin looks to Brian, who won't return the look. Roger takes everything in and decides to feed the fire.
So, Max, how did the two of you meet? Brian has chosen to leave those particular details in a shroud of mystery, so I'm hoping you might enlighten us.
Max takes off his glasses and wipes them on his shirt.
Huh?
I suppose there was subsequent contact after that initial collision at Film Forum.
Max puts his glasses on and looks to Brian.
Well,
I saw him on the street one day and followed him home like a stray puppy.
Max looks at Brian, confused. Brian winks at him.
You know me, I can't resist a guy with glasses.
You can't resist a guy, period.
Max's leg starts shaking. Brian puts his hand on Max's knee and he stops shaking. Augustin has reached his limit.
So, Augustin.
I'm gonna go.
He stands as if waiting for permission from Brian. Brian looks at him angrily, then turns away.
Okay.
Okay.
Shall I come with you?
Fuck off, Roger.
Augustin turns and walks quickly away towards the entrance to the restaurant. Max and Roger watch him as he leaves. Brian is staring intently at his menu.
He's mad about me.
Roger leans closer to Max, who in turn leans back in his chair.
Now, Max, you were saying...
I wasn't.
Fade to black. End scene.
Oh, I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. And now I can drink.
I have one. I'm always a fan. Always a fan.
Luckily, I wasn't drinking when Sissy popped up because I would have ruined my screen.
I wanted to cheers her. I was almost trying to clink through my screen. So I know David and I just were talking about some moments we remember, but anyone else have any popcorn moments, just things that stuck out from hearing this scene kind of out loud for the first time? David, Michael Kirby.
Well, it's not my first time I'm hearing it, but I did have a few popcorn moments. Sissy is a popcorn moment. Sissy is all popcorn all the time. Just love Sissy. I love the line about Phyllis and the moon, the rotation of the moon that doesn't rotate, and neither does Phyllis. That really jumped out to me. And then the whole thing, the whole scene in front of the polar bear. This is hard to put into words, but it was something that I felt as it was unfolding. Is it like this? It's just infused with this sense of melancholy that really came across, and that was kind of a popcorn moment for me too.
Yeah, Chase.
The popcorn moments for me was like, whether they were intentional or not, were like the silences. So it was just really, really great moments of relatable uncomfortability. And like those moments where you're just sort of like, you cringe yourself because you're like, oh man, oh, somebody say something, save him. Like particularly with Max as well, like he'll give out something and then he has to keep pushing to get like the minor, like with Brian, like consider what I have to do today, like just stop. But like just those moments where you're just sort of like, ooh, those were good. I really like the awkward silences that you brought in.
Absolutely. Ben, I see you. You can go next.
Okay, so two things. Gill, great dialogue and storyline between the 4-year-old and the mother. Second, if this were filmed, I would see Jennifer Downs playing the mother. I mean, I don't know about Aaron playing the little boy, and I know this like, you know, this like this of course this is a reading of it, but like
we're all flexible with our acting chops.
If New Ambassadors became film too, I mean, I would shoot this and see Jennifer Downs playing the mother. And
Thank you very much, Ben. Yeah.
I mean, like this was great, and like I really enjoyed the moment when Nate was wondering what the word gay means, and I was so my heart was beating because I was worried about the mother admitting to a 4-year-old about sexual identity, and like I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, that was an intense moment.
Absolutely, Ben. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's
Congratulations, Bill.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Now more as people are seeing more people of different sexual preferences or identities in media now. I think it is coming up for kids more and more. I mean, I know I relate to that zoo, that diner. I mean, the Upper West Side. That you got my heart with where you placed this this piece for sure. Absolutely. And yeah, I want to go have drinks with Sissy and talk about the Old South. Anyone else have any questions? Yeah, John.
Another popcorn moment I really love is the faux pas thing. That's just such a great play moment where
We're all
the
gonna
next
steal that.
20 times I hear the term faux pas, I'm going to think of that scene. I love the way that's the kind of thing that'll stick in your brain. You'll think about it for a while.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We are going to wrap up on this in a minute. Anyone quickly have any questions for the playwright? Anything they were confused about or anything they want to see developed more? You can always, I'll put it again in the chat, the feedback that you guys can leave on the website if you're not going to do it live here. There goes my timer in case you heard it in the background.
I just want to say, Maura Kelly, yes, Phyllis does exist. And then quickly, what my question was in the beginning, do you get a sense of who these people are? Just really need to get, okay. Thank you. And their story is interesting?
And everyone seemed very different. I felt like there was a lot of different perspectives and ages and also like backgrounds, but they all interacted with each other in that very New York way, I feel like.
Yeah, you guys really nailed it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the good work and the good writing. All right, I will share again in the chat on here how you guys can give your feedback online, but we're gonna move on to Disclosures by John Austin Wiggins with Guillermo Ivan as Santino, David Michael Kirby as Stewart, and Mark Hoffmeyer reading stage directions. Anything you wanna say about the piece before they get started from the writer?
Yeah, just very briefly. It's a one-act play, 3 characters. What you're going to see tonight is the relationship arc between 2 of the characters, Stewart and Santino. So it's not a progressive, you're not seeing scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. You're seeing scene 1, scene 4, and scene, what is it, 7, I believe. So, and that's it. These guys are wonderful. Enjoy it.
Scene 1, an Upper West Side apartment, late morning. A garden apartment, tasteful, modern, with a somewhat minimalist feel. The entry door is up center at the end of a short hallway. A small open kitchen with an island is upstage left, in front of which is a breakfast table with 2 chairs. In the center of the living room is a comfortable couch with a coffee table in front and a taller, narrow table behind, on which are a few framed photos. Upright is a hallway to the bathroom and bedroom. A glass door leading to the garden is stage right. Stewart Kelly, Caucasian, early 60s, and Santino Soledad, early 30s, Latinx, are heard approaching the apartment door. There is a sound of keys, then the door opening and closing as they enter. Santino finds the light and helps Stewart to a chair at the table.
Here you go, big guy. Sit your ass here.
He goes to the fridge and looks in the freezer.
No ice? Huh? You got no ice?
He finds 2 bags of frozen peas.
That's what we'll do.
He brings the bags to the table, giving one to Stewart, who looks at him, puzzled.
What the fuck?
For your lump.
Stewart puts the bag to the lump on his head. Santino sits in the opposite chair and puts the other bag to his swollen lip.
We're lucky you like peas.
And carrots.
Huh?
Peas and carrots. I like peas and carrots.
Okay.
You want some?
What?
Peas and carrots. I could make you some.
No, thanks.
It's the least I can do. It just takes a few minutes.
He starts to get up from his chair, but staggers slightly, grabbing the edge of the table.
Fuck.
Easy there. Sit your ass back down.
I'm just a little woozy.
I'll take you to urgent care. You could have a concussion.
I've troubled you enough for one day.
It's no trouble.
I'm sorry you got hurt.
Just a scratch, Pops.
Fucking tough guy.
Not the first time.
Getting a lot of fights?
Comes with the territory.
What territory?
The streets.
Oh, You homeless?
When I was younger, my mom died and I went to live with my aunt. But it didn't work out. I ran away when I was 14.
No father?
Mm-mm. Single mom.
How the fuck did you survive?
Merry band of street kids. We took care of each other.
Santino's cell buzzes. He checks a message, then gets up.
Sorry, I gotta go.
So soon? You just got here. I'll make you breakfast.
You can hardly stand up.
Make yourself a cup of coffee then. Just put a fucking pot in the machine.
I got a lunch date. You sure you don't want me to take you to the ER?
I'm fine.
Have it your way. Can I use the bathroom?
Yeah, sure. Through there? No shooting up.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. Just kidding.
Not funny.
Santino notices a team photo on the table behind the couch. He picks it up.
Is your team?
Yeah.
You play rugby?
Used to. In the gay rugby league.
Must have been fun rolling around in the mud with these guys.
I like contact sports.
You sure made lots of contact on the subway today.
It was fucking rush hour.
It's not often you see someone intentionally squeezing themselves between people.
Couldn't fucking help it. Crowded train.
You seem to enjoy it.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You did it more than once. And after squeezing in, you close your eyes and smile.
You were fucking watching me?
You fantasizing about your rugby team?
Fuck you.
I'm not judging. This is a pretty hot group of guys.
It's not like that.
Then what?
Santino puts the team photo back and picks up the other photo without looking at it right away.
Never mind. It's none of my business.
It's not fucking sexual if that's what you're thinking, asshole. It brings back memories.
That's cool. But indulging your self fantasies in public like that could get you hurt again. Maybe arrested.
Santino looks at the other photo of Stewart and another man in an affectionate embrace, both wearing rugby jerseys. Santino recognizes the man but can't remember from where. He does not let on to Stewart.
This is your boyfriend? Wow. What a smile.
Was. He left.
Oh, that sucks.
He died.
Jesus, I'm sorry, man.
Santino keeps staring at the photo.
I thought you were in a fucking hurry.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He continues to the bathroom.
Down here?
First door on the right.
You know, that smile, it feels, I don't know, familiar.
What smile?
Santino exits the bathroom.
Your boyfriend's.
He goes back to the photo and picks it up.
He reminds me of someone my mom knew. What's his name?
Luke?
Doesn't ring a bell. But it was a long time ago.
Hard to remember that far back.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. I'm sorry. What's your name?
Stewart.
Santino.
He pulls a card from his pocket and hands it to Stewart.
Here's my number. If you don't feel better in a couple of hours, call me. I'll take you to urgent care.
I'll be fine.
Just in case. See you around. Maybe on the train?
Thanks, Santino.
Santino smiles and exits the apartment. Stewart gets up, goes to a table, picks up the photo of Luke and him. He reaches down and picks up a rugby ball that has been lying unnoticed by the couch. He lies on the couch and curls up with a photo and ball. He closes his eyes. After a moment, he smiles. Scene 4, outside Stewart's Brownstone the next morning. Santino is sitting on the steps, a to-go cup of coffee in hand. Stewart exits the building and upon seeing Santino, stops on the landing. Santino stands.
Good morning.
Something about Santino's smile shocks Stewart.
It's me, Santino, from yesterday.
This is a surprise. What brings you here?
Just wanted to check in on you.
That's nice of you. I'm fine, thanks. Should have rung the bell.
I forgot your apartment number.
It's the garden apartment.
Oh yeah, right.
You want to come in for a cup of coffee?
No, thanks. Just had one.
You been waiting long?
A little while.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine. I don't mind.
You came all the fucking way here just to check on me?
I was concerned. You hit your head pretty hard yesterday.
Rest assured, I am back to normal today. I appreciate your concern, but maybe you should be more concerned about yourself since you can't fucking remember the garden apartment you were in yesterday.
Yeah, got a point there.
Stewart gets lost in Santino's smile for a long moment.
What?
Sorry.
Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Stewart starts down the steps.
I should get going.
He stops in front of Santino and puts a hand on his shoulder.
Thank you for checking up on me and for all of your help yesterday.
They stand face to face for a moment. Stewart turns to leave.
Wait. The guy in the photo yesterday, her boyfriend.
Luke, what about him?
Remember I said his smile looked familiar?
I don't know. I was fucking out of it.
His smile reminded me of someone my mama knew.
Maybe. So?
She actually did know him. We used to run into him on the Brooklyn Bridge.
I'm not surprised. Luke was fucking obsessed with that bridge. So you knew him. Cool. Small world.
Smaller than you think.
Meaning what?
May I ask you something about Luke?
I suppose.
Did he ever have a girlfriend, maybe in high school?
He never mentioned one.
Did you ever ask him?
Oh, more than once. He would always say, I'm gay all the way.
And you believed him?
I had no reason not to.
Until now.
Wait. Fuck. You think your mom was Luke's girlfriend?
Maybe. I know they at least slept together.
How the fuck would you know that? Did you watch?
No, I wasn't born yet. I don't know how to say this.
Go on.
Luke's my father.
Yeah, right.
Stewart starts to walk away.
It's true.
What kind of fucking game are you playing?
I'm not playing games.
No. Tell me, what the fuck do you want?
Nothing. I just...
Because what your pretty little head thinks happened, didn't. Luke was a fucking gold star gay, meaning he never
had sex with a woman. I know what it means.
Then you know it's fucking impossible he fathered you.
If it were true, which it isn't.
You're so full of shit. I was with Luke for 15 years. We knew everything about each other. I know he never had a son.
I'm proof that he did.
You got legal proof? A birth certificate? DNA test?
No, but a DNA test would prove it.
Fucking hard to get a sample now, don't you think?
I know it's true. I found out from a very reliable source.
Who?
My mama's sister.
Your aunt?
Yeah. Mama told her, but made her promise not to tell me.
And you believe her?
Tia Rosita is a devout Catholic. She will never lie, especially to me.
I see. So let me get this straight. You're saying that your pious aunt would never lie to you when she broke a fucking promise to her dear sister to tell you this fucking bit of information? Yep, gotta say she certainly sounds trustworthy to me. Buddy, get a fucking life.
Stewart starts to walk back toward his building. Santino grabs Stewart's arm as he passes.
Please, wait.
Look, I truly appreciate what you did for me yesterday, but this load of crap? Fuck you very much, but I am not buying.
Stewart goes up a couple of steps toward the building door, then stops.
Did you set me up?
What?
You did, didn't you? You heard about the tragic death of the famous architect and the heartbroken husband he left behind. Figured I'd be an easy target, so you pretend to be his long-lost son in order to, what, get your hands on his money?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, yesterday on the fucking subway. That guy who knocked me down, he works with you, doesn't he? One of your fucking street buddies. He plays the bully, so you can play the fucking hero and get me to trust you so you can scam me.
No!
Oh, why didn't you say Luke was your father yesterday when you saw the photo? Did you have second thoughts?
Stewart, I didn't know.
Oh, that's fucking rich. I think you had a little shot of conscience and missed your chance. So here you are this morning pretending to be concerned about me. Gotta say, that was a real smooth move. You really had me going there for a moment.
You're crazy, man.
No, you're crazy to think you could fucking get away with it. I'll admit, I was enjoying the attention, but I'm not desperate like you. Who the fuck do you think you're dealing with anyway?
I'm not scamming you. Look, I'm sorry to upset you, okay? But I truly believe that the guy on your photo was my father. I just hope you could tell me something about him.
I have. Your father was not Luke. Now get the fuck out of here. Try your fucking game on someone else. If I ever see you around here again, I'm calling the cops.
Stewart goes into the building and closes the door. Santino watches him for a moment, then turns and walks off down the sidewalk. Scene 7, the Brooklyn Bridge, that evening. Stewart sits on the deck halfway across the span, staring south toward Lower Manhattan and New York Harbor.
You couldn't tell me? Something as important as this? Fucking asshole! What else did you hide from me, huh? We were together 15 years. We shared everything. Except this one fucking little thing that was pretty fucking important. Why couldn't you tell me? You thought I'd be angry? That I'd leave you?
Santino enters, unseen by Stewart. He stays back and just watches.
Fuck you, Luke. Fuck you for not trusting me, for not letting me be there for you. Fuck you for being a coward, for leaving without giving me a chance to show you how much I love you. You hear that, you jerk? I love you. Why did you die, you fucking asshole?
You okay, man?
Christ, leave me alone.
Okay. I'm just gonna enjoy the view.
Did you fucking follow me here?
No,
Well, why are you here then?
I like walking this bridge, that's all.
You seem to conveniently pop up wherever I am lately. What the fuck do you want from me?
Nothing, man.
Then please be on your merry fucking way and leave me alone.
Santino stares out at the view. Stewart buries his head in his arms, folded across his knees.
My mom loved this view. We came here a lot when I was little. Last time was 2 weeks before she died. I push her wheelchair across and back again twice.
Please just leave.
I feel close to her here. We talk. I tell her what's going on, ask her advice, rant sometimes. Then I just wait for her answer. Sometimes I think I actually hear her voice.
So you come here to talk to your dead person, and I come to talk to mine. We're fucking connected. Happy? Now fuck off!
You used to come here with Luke, didn't you?
I don't want to fucking talk about him.
I was pretty angry for a long time after Mom died.
Let me tell you something. But before you fucking appeared, I was actually starting to make peace with Luke's death. I found my own way to feel his presence.
I'm glad, man.
Oh, fuck you. If you hadn't shown up, if I hadn't found out about this other life he had,
Sounds like you believe me now.
there's no fucking way you know what I'm going through.
But I do. Maybe I can help.
Help what? Ease my pain? Because of you, I don't fucking know who I've been mourning all these months.
So you do believe me? What changed?
Stewart pulls the photos of Luke and young Santino from his pocket and hands them to him.
There's a resemblance.
Santino looks at the photos, then hands the photos back.
Smiles. He was really nice to me, you know? He used to carry me on his shoulders, buy me a pretzel or ice cream.
Yeah. A model father, just like he was a model husband. Fucking jerk.
Stewart.
How the fuck can you stand there and be so sentimental? The asshole kept huge secrets from both of us. For Christ's sake, he fucking abandoned you after your mom died. You ended up on the streets.
He didn't know.
That you were fucking homeless? He should have.
Stewart, he didn't know he was my father.
Let me get this straight. Neither of you knew you were father and son.
That's right.
Dude, you've been watching too many telenovelas because this is one fucked up, twisted story you're spinning.
Santino pulls the envelope from his pocket.
There's a letter.
Fuck me. Of course there is. From Luke.
My mother. Aunt Rosie was supposed to give it to me when I turned 18. But I've been gone for a long time by then, and she forgot about it. She gave it to me this afternoon.
Santino holds the letter out to Stewart.
Do you want to read it? Okay, then. My dear Santino, by the time you read this, I'll be long gone. I'm so sorry to have left so early in your life, and hope you have found a way to forgive me.
Jesus Christ, just cut the fucking sentiments. Cliff notes only, please.
Luciano Ramirez is your father. I never told him.
It's hard to accept that if they fucked, he wouldn't have at least wondered if he was the father.
He didn't remember the sex part.
I doubt that. Luke could remember every fucking guy he fucked.
But she was a woman.
You got a point there.
One night, after graduation, Mom, Luke, and Maurizio, Luke's boyfriend, went clubbing. Got like really fucked up and ended up at Luke's place. Maurizio was so wasted, he fell asleep when he and Luke started having sex. My mom always thought Luke was hot and took advantage of the situation. In the morning, when Mom started talking about the night before, Luke said he couldn't remember anything that happened.
That's no different from what fucking straight guys say the morning after having gay sex.
Apparently, he couldn't remember the club, the cab ride home, even being back at his apartment, a total blackout. When Mom found out she was pregnant, she knew Luke was my father. But she decided not to tell him. He was going places in life and she didn't want to interfere. She considered an abortion, but realized she wanted to be a mom. She decided to go it alone on her own terms.
Fuck. I guess it makes sense.
He really didn't know.
Gotta say, your mom was brave to take on that responsibility herself. You're not angry she never told you?
She had her reasons at the time. Here. I didn't tell you because I wanted you to grow up independent and strong.
She obviously loved you very much.
Luke really loved you too. You know, I could see it in that photo of you too. He wasn't hiding anything from you.
Not a fucking love child, at least. Sorry. No offense. Luke would have laughed at that.
None taken. Maybe I inherited his sense of humor.
You definitely inherited his smile. Too bad you didn't get to know him better.
I'd love to hear more about him sometime.
I still need a little time to process. You understand, right?
When you're ready.
What a fucking day. I'm going home.
I'll stay here and talk to Mom for a while. If you need anything.
Stewart starts to walk away, then turns back to Santino.
Tell your mom that you grew up independent and strong, just like she wanted.
Thanks. I will.
Stewart walks off. Santino stands, looking out at the view. A soft smile appears on his face. After a few moments, Stewart reappears.
Fuck it. Let's get a cup of coffee.
Are you sure?
It's either go home and have a fucking pity party looking at old photos of Luke, or spend some time with a living part of him.
Santino joins Stewart. The two of them start to walk off.
So, where'd you guys meet?
You're really chomping at the fucking bit, aren't you? I'll give you one fucking guess.
Here?
Yep. He hit me with his fucking bike about 100 yards that way.
Lights begin to fade as they continue walking off.
Seriously?
You want to see the fucking scar? He said he was distracted by the sunlight on that arch.
Blackout.
Yay.
You guys. Oh my God.
So
Thank
John,
you
I know
so
you're
much.
probably excited to get feedback from anybody. This did run a little close to the max time for each playwright, but if anyone has any quick moments that stood out to them or anything that they want to say as far as where they want this to go or questions they have. Yeah, Maura.
Well, I just wanted to say, like, I loved all the twists and turns. Like at first, I was like, is this guy like a creeper? Like, you know, like I was like, is this gonna be like a robbery? Or it just kept changing, and I just like loved it. And I loved David, the Stewart's character, how I was like, why is he overreacting? You know, that he does protest too much. Like I was like, what's going on? So it was just very intriguing.
Great. Thank you.
Yes, David.
I just want to say, and I texted this to John, so I cheated a little. But these are three like separate scenes within the play. But as we were watching them, the storyline is so solid. Like these are the three scenes where these two characters connect, beginning, middle, and end. And it's so strong. And you did such a great job, John, of making this arc solid and these characters really, really strong, compelling, moving, very moving, and funny. So congratulations. I just loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
Thanks. Thanks. Couldn't have done it without you, David. Well, it's true. This was nurtured in David's workshops for the past 6 months, maybe close to it. So
I've known you almost half a pandemic year. Wow.
I know. I know.
Anyone else have any feedback about characters they had questions about or where you want to see this go? You can take one or two more quick. We're good? Yes, Chase.
Just to touch on the relationship again, I loved just the ambiguity at the beginning. I again, same thing that Maura said. I was like, what the because they're talking about the bump and he has a busted lip and a lump on the back of his head. He might have a concussion. Then it turns out he has some weird non-sexual fantasy about being in the rugby huddle again that he like relives in public spaces. I was like, that threw me for a loop. And then the way that it went threw me through another loop. So I just thought that was really great.
Absolutely. I will put the link for more online feedback. I know everyone probably has a lot that they want to talk to John about. The scenes definitely all, like David said, kind of melded together. I almost couldn't tell that wasn't how they would normally go. We understood the characters. Yes, John, one more thing.
Yeah, very quickly. I've been working with Guillermo for about almost 2 years now. He's a wonderful actor and writer and producer and director. And we worked on the flowers together. I'm going to put I'll find the link and put it in the chat. If you guys can go to Amazon Prime and watch it. It's 5 episodes. It's a lot of fun, a lot of crazy characters. And we
I
would
know. I
really
looked that up.
appreciate it.
Yeah, watch it, rate it, do all the things.
Do all the stuff.
Like, rate, subscribe, all the things that we do to help each other out, right?
Yeah.
Thanks for that
you
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we're gonna move on to our last piece for the day. We're doing so much great work, guys. This one is The House by Maura Kelly. We have Maeve played by Carolyn Seif, Jordan played by Marie Elena O'Brien, James by Aaron Moy, and stage directions from Mark Hoffmeyer one more time. Anything more you want to say just leading into this?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go just briefly because a lot has happened because this is a full length and we're nearing the end. So Maeve is a retired housewife living in Pennsylvania. She's played by Carolyn, and she's been cleaning up her house, getting rid of clutter. And then her daughter, Jordan, comes over and she has quit her job because her common law husband has moved his girlfriend into their home. So she just quit her job and moved out and came home to mom. And also her son, James, got suspended from boarding school. So he has shown up unannounced, as well as Father Dan, Maeve's brother, an older brother who is a priest, and he has been suspended from the priesthood. So all of these people have been living in this house, and it's quite a party. Okay, so here we are.
Scene. Couple hours later, Maeve is in the kitchen getting things ready for dinner. There is a stack of bowls next to the pot and a large salad on the table. The table is half set. Jordan enters in a flurry carrying flowers and wine. She throws off her coat and she is wearing a suit and heels.
Jordan, good. Dinner is ready. Look at all this stuff. I knew James was here.
Sorry, I guess he was in a hurry.
Jordan pours herself a big glass of wine. Maeve might give her a side-eye glance.
Don't start. I deserve it after the day I've had.
Yes, and how was Robert?
At least he didn't show up with her. James refused to talk to him, which made things short.
Oh dear.
A part of me was glad. Robert deserves to have some grief.
What's going to happen to James' school?
Jordan looks around for James.
Is he here?
Basketball.
It all would have been fine, but James didn't do the work.
What do you mean?
They gave James an essay assignment to write about the whole experience and what he learned for the better during his suspension, which he completely blew off.
Our James?
Yeah, since they didn't tell him if they were letting him back in school or not, he didn't want to bother doing the work for nothing.
I think they told him that they might not let him go back?
They wanted him to work for it, but you can't tell a kid they might get expelled for good. Honestly, I think the dean and the president disagreed on whether he should be suspended or expelled. What is this? This looks familiar.
Except now it's all organic and grass-fed.
Even better.
James walks in. Jordan tops off her glass.
There he is.
Jordan exits to her room. James calls after her.
Mom, Todd taught me these really cool dribbling techniques. The passover where you fake out your opponent. He said I picked it up really fast.
That's great, hon.
Yeah, I think I'm already a better player.
Wash up, James. We're eating dinner.
James goes to the sink.
Where's Father Dan?
Oh, he borrowed the car for an errand.
Father Dan knows how to drive?
Of course. He is a grown man.
Oh, just because he walks everywhere. Do we have to wait to eat? I'm starving.
No, this is a help yourself kind of thing.
James ladles out his stew, takes a seat, begins eating.
Grandma, this food is great.
Jordan re-enters in sweatpants, wine glass in hand.
James, you started?
Just a bite.
James stops eating, nervously waiting. Jordan grabs her bowl and joins them. Maeve puts out her hands to grab the others.
Bless us, O Lord, and these are gifts which we are about to receive. Amen.
James eats hungrily. They sit for a moment, blowing on their stew, and take a bite. Then,
so, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you are looking at the new maternity leave replacement for South Central's 4th grade class. I start Monday.
Mom, then can I go to school at St. Benedict's? I already know some of the kids now.
Oh, James.
Mom, please. Hilltop might not even take me back. They said so themselves.
We talked about this. Have you started your essay yet?
I want to go to St. Benedict's.
James, you're most likely 3 grade levels ahead of these kids. You'll be bored.
So I'll always be smarter than all of the kids, but I want to play basketball.
Yeah, play basketball at Hilltop.
James looks down. There's something he's not telling her. Maeve gets up with her dish and puts it in the sink.
Mom? So what do you think?
About
my news, getting a job so quickly.
You should have told me.
I am. I thought you'd be happy.
Where are you planning on living?
Here. My home.
Grandma, when I came in from basketball, I saw a blonde lady in heels standing out front hammering a for sale sign into your lawn. Are you selling your house?
Jordan frantically runs outside.
I am, James. It goes on the market tomorrow.
Jordan runs back, holding up the for sale sign.
What's this?
Put that back, Jordan.
Mom, you can't sell this house.
I certainly well can.
Mom, this is my childhood home.
Put that sign back on the lawn right now, so help me.
Why didn't you tell me?
We're having an open house this weekend. I need the place cleaned up and clutter-free.
You're trying to erase me.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
You got rid of my bedroom.
The bedroom needed an upgrade.
All my personal stuff.
A faded Kurt Cobain poster doesn't sell a house.
My childhood memories gone. Mom, you didn't ask me.
You really have a use for mouse-eaten glued macaroni artwork? I'll have you know I got rid of a lot more than your childhood.
Oh yeah, I suppose Daddy's chair was the first on your list.
Jordan looks over towards where the chair used to be. It was probably still warm. Maeve slams something, looks towards the area where the chair was.
Shush! Have some respect.
I see it there still, watching us.
James gets up looking for the chair.
Where's Grandpa's chair?
You don't see it, James? It's right there. Follow the stench of scotch.
Jordan downs her wine. Maeve, seething, starts clearing dishes angrily. James picks up the for sale sign and exits without them noticing. Jordan refills wine.
Mom.
Did you ask me if it would be okay for you to stay here? No, you just showed up.
My husband's girlfriend moved into the home I lived in with him for almost 15 years. I was distraught.
I understand, but
I had nowhere else to go. I'd take the initiative. I'd go out. I'd get a job here. I thought you'd be happy.
Congratulations, Jordan. But you can't live here.
I can't quit another teaching job, Mom. This will ruin my chances of ever getting a teaching job again.
Well, you should have thought of that before.
James re-enters, plops on the couch, and starts playing video games on his phone.
And James wants to go to St. Bridget's.
So now you have him going to school here? Yes!
The video games are too loud.
Put on your headphones.
Mom, can I really go to school here?
If you leave Hilltop, your dad will fight me for custody.
No, Mom, I can't live with him and his girlfriend.
I agree. But if you leave Hilltop, then I got to prove to the state that I can provide you with a nice, clean living environment. And right now, we just found out that Grandma's selling the house and I can't stay here anymore. So I'd like you to think about that from my perspective.
I'm going to sit out on the porch and wait for Father Dan.
James exits.
Why didn't you tell me you were selling the house? I can't even tell that there was even a daughter who lived in this house. I'm erased.
Clutter, Jordan.
And you got rid of the pigs. Those pigs were the happiest moment of my miserable childhood.
Yes, I got rid of the pigs.
I mean,
I'm a horrible mother.
I can understand Daddy, but me?
Do you know how hard it was for me to finally make this step? After years of taking care of people, you, your father, and now my brother. People who just come and dump their life and their belongings on Maeve. Poor, caring Maeve. Well, I am done taking care of everyone in this world. I am done.
Well, that's an awfully selfish thing to say.
Huh, that's calling the kettle black. I am sick and tired of listening to my poor me, alcoholic daughter who always walks away from responsibilities when the going gets tough.
I don't.
You quit your job without thinking of the consequences. And this thing with Robert. What made you decide that you never wanted to get married anyway? I'll never understand that.
Jordan drinks more wine.
Yeah, keep drinking. By staying single, you allowed Robert the freedom to do whatever he wanted with no complications. Oh.
No, so it's my fault.
Or
my fault.
Obligations.
He's still going to pay for his education.
Pregnant, for God's sake. And you still didn't want to marry him.
I did.
Your father was right about one thing.
I did want to marry him.
What?
He just didn't want to marry me. That's why I got pregnant, but he still wouldn't marry me. He didn't want the baby.
James, wearing earphones, goes into Father Dan's room, completely oblivious.
That's right, James. Your father's a piece of shit.
Shh, get a hold of yourself.
Yeah, I certainly don't want to destroy his childhood. A good mama bear should always protect her baby bear, especially from a big, bad, Scotch guzzling monster. But I guess your way is to have baby bear's childhood erased. Well, here, let me help you erase your clutter.
Jordan, now quite drunk, kicks James' books over and stumbles to the banister or place where the porcelain pigs are displayed. She roughly sideswipes the pigs off the banister, so they all tumble to the floor.
Die, pigs! Right? Forget your childhood. Die. Forget you were ever born. Rot in hell, you fatty Johns.
Jordan picks up a random pig and throws it against the floor or on the wall. She also has started crying.
No one ever gives a shit about you. No one ever did. No one loves you. You hear me? He never loved me. He never loved me.
By the end of this, Jordan is a heap on the floor, sobbing her eyes out. Maeve stands there stoic, not reaching to comfort her. James comes out of Father Dan's room calling.
Grandma?
They both freeze.
Together for his sake.
Maeve quickly stands, blocking James from seeing Jordan on the floor. James walks out the front door again. Maeve drags a very drunk Jordan to the couch. James re-enters.
Grandma, Father Dan didn't take his cell phone with him. I found it in his room. And that's weird because he's always been so careful about always having it after that other time.
James starts looking around at things near the landline phone.
What are you looking for, James?
The map. Father Dan had this map. It was old and had writing all over it.
You did? Well, I never saw him with a map.
Yeah, he also had a bus map. I saw him look at it lots of times.
A bus map? To where?
I don't know.
Maeve looks at her watch or time.
Wait, I remember Susquehanna, an Indian sounding word.
Susquehanna?
Yes! Where is that?
Oh, that's a river that runs through part of Pennsylvania.
Is that far?
Well, the area that the river runs in is about 2 hours away, more or less, depending on where along the river.
Maybe we should go after him?
James, we don't know anything. You know, maybe he got lost. It's happened before.
James starts digging into his mother's purse to pull out keys. Maeve points to Jordan, who is sacked out on the couch.
James, she's not in any shape to drive. Let's give it some time. Why don't you go out on the porch and keep watch? Get your jacket.
James quickly exits out the door. Maeve glances at Jordan in frustration, but then quickly gets the dustpan and broom and begins cleaning up the broken pigs. Slow fade. Scene 30. 3 a.m., a few hours later. Jordan sits at the kitchen table drinking coffee. Maeve stands in the kitchen pacing. James returns from the porch wrapped in a comforter.
Mom, can we call the cops now?
I don't know. He's not missing yet.
Well, he could be lost and in trouble.
James, we're not. It's not enough time. I think we need to wait till sunrise.
But
it's dark. We don't even know where he is, and going out driving in the dark?
Just wait a little bit.
All right, I'm going to go out there again.
Are you warm enough?
Yeah. Hey, Mom?
Yeah.
I prayed for him.
He would definitely like that.
James exits out the front door.
Where do you think he is, Mom? I mean, he said an errand.
A very big errand.
I mean, if he takes off with your car, that's considered stealing.
Jordan, he did not steal my car.
Okay, but...
He's a priest.
Okay, but I'm thinking like that gives us a better reason to call the cops. Like you only let him have the car for an errand. Where do you think he is? I mean, what about that Susquehanna place, the maps?
I'm trying to think.
Are there any relatives near there?
Not that I'm aware.
He even wanted to take a bus there, right?
Jordan is on her phone, Googling.
Yeah. Maybe he has a priest friend.
Oh, yeah. See if there's a Catholic church out there.
Well, yeah. Wow, there's a lot of Catholic churches. Maybe he's visiting a friend.
Yeah, but he should have called us by now.
There's also a ton of campsites, horse camps, Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts.
Was Father Dan a Boy Scout?
Yes. He was big into the Boy Scouts. All of these merit badges. I remember I was young, like 6. He had gone on this big camping trip at the end of the summer, right before school, comes back, and then suddenly he leaves for the seminary.
You mean you didn't know he was going?
I mean, I knew when he left, but it was sudden.
And it was immediately after the camping trip.
Yeah.
Mom.
I don't know.
James enters from outside and enters Father Dan's room. They wait to speak until after he's out of earshot. James runs into the room holding Father Dan's cell phone.
Mom, Father Dan got a missed call. Mom.
Well, did they leave a message?
No, I should have been watching his cell phone. I didn't recognize the number. It's 5709877788.
That's Pennsylvania. Could be Susquehanna.
Should I call it?
Yes. Put it on speaker.
They all stand around the phone and listen to it ring until a recording comes on. This number is not taking incoming calls. End of scene.
Dun dun dun. Cliffhanger. All right. So thank you for that. Thank you, playwright and actor. So just off the bat, any popcorn moments that you guys want to share with us about this, or any feedback? Yes, David.
I have a list, actually. I made a list. So anything that Erin did, Erin, you're so great. Playing two age ranges of young boy. I understand why you cast it that way, Maura. It really worked. It really worked to make the character younger. And I thought it was great. I am done was one of that monologue. I am done was a popcorn moment. People's lives being dumped. Die Pigs, Fatty Johns was another moment. Thought that was great. Maria Elena's wine glass going down and then magically coming up as a coffee mug was a popcorn moment. And then the mention of the Boy Scouts, like not even what the story was about the Boy Scouts, just the Boy Scouts. I was like, oh. So yeah, really some really great stuff there.
Thank you, David. Who else has any moments that stood out? So maybe doesn't have a whole list. He's the overachiever, which I love. No, that's amazing. I forget things if I don't make lists. Anyone else? Yeah, Chase.
The big thing that stood out to me, like at the beginning, or I guess sort of the beginning throughout the middle, as we're sort of getting familiar or used to them, was the family dynamic that's really jumped out at me, and like this huge like burden that Maeve has, where we don't see anything before, but we can kind of like tell she gets to this point where when can you tell your family enough? Like, how much do you owe to your family before it's like like David said, the I am done monologue really like hit home and like, or I guess stuck out to me rather. And it was just like, how much before you're like, all right, that's enough. That's my line. Like with family, the boundaries get so blurred or the line is always redrawn. because you're like, this is the last time. I thought that was really good.
I just do have some notes from the writer that had asked, taking into consideration what you were told already happened and adding what happens in the scene, are you intrigued to find out what happens next? And how do you feel about Maeve? And what are finally, you know, her taking a stance? Do you care about her doing that? So if anyone has feedback on those in particular, that's something that the writer had asked about. I wanted to highlight as well, just in the next few minutes. Yeah, Jen.
Yeah, especially, first of all, yes, I'm definitely intrigued, and I want to know how it all turns out. But for Maeve in particular, I love the shift that she got in these pages. I had the opportunity to also see a lot of those early pages at earlier labs, and she really is so good at taking care of people, and she takes so much in terms of the emotional volatility of the people in her life kind of coming at her. And I was so happy to see that she had boundaries and that she had this plan and that she had this big move that she was like, no, I know what will make me happy. It just, it made my heart so happy for that character. I loved it.
Thanks, Jen. Yes, Erin.
Yeah, building off what Jen said, it was really lovely because I think for the first time, and it's brought up in this scene, I'd seen prior ones, you realize it's two mothers talking to each other. Because I would always was like, oh, it's her, she's talking to her mom, so it's a mom-daughter, but like James being there means like she's a mom too. And you're seeing like people come to different definitions of motherhood. And I loved Maeve being like, yeah, being your mom doesn't mean I stop my life and I have to do everything for you. And I thought that was a beautiful moment. And I really want to see what happens next, because there is a moment of Jordan being like, no, I'm your child. You need to take care of me. And Maeve being like, but that doesn't mean at expense to myself. And I thought that was just a beautiful thing for women to express to each other.
Yes, Carolyn.
I just would like to also know what happened to Father Dan and to see how this evolves.
We all want to know what happened to Father Dan.
Where's Father Dan?
As someone who's read Father Dan a few times,
He's re-entered the priesthood.
Mark has run away. He's just sick of us.
No,
Jackie,
no.
Mark had his hand up
Hiding
too.
behind those stage directions.
Yeah, so let's get Mark. So what did you have to say?
It was just a wonderful mother-daughter relationship, Maeve and Jordan. And when somebody related to my mother is a coper, she copes and finally reaches her breaking point. It's a very dramatic technique, it's a moment, and it really just shoots the play forward. And I thought it was very obviously well read, beautifully read, but it's a really great thing, Maura, and I'm curious to see what happens next.
Anyone have anywhere they want to see this go, or any questions about the characters? No, anyone? Your hands up. We are going to stay after a little bit. Anyone has time? Benny D wants to host a little happy hour. There's a lot of wine and martinis in these pieces. So if people want to take a moment and grab a beverage before we finish up, I'm just letting people know before we exit out that he's graciously decided to do that. Since we can't have post-show drinks in COVID, we can do it a la Zoom with one another. But
and we will do it eventually. We will do it.
Yes. The city's reopening, restaurants 50% soon, and outdoor, it's getting warm, thankfully. So I'm excited for that.
But we're gonna do that. We're gonna get through this.
Absolutely.
We're gonna be stronger than ever after this, guys.
Thank
It's
you,
just
Ben.
gonna be
Thank you.
really amazing. And I hope everybody on YouTube is watching, because this is going to be the recovery of all recoveries.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because we're gonna be stronger than ever. And
Yep.
stronger than
And
ever.
that's where the song comes in.
So David, I don't know if you want to sign us out or have any other notes as the artistic director as we're wrapping up.
No, I was thrilled with the work presented tonight, and not only the work presented tonight, except for that second piece, it needs a little, needs a little something. But the talent of the
The
people,
contract.
the actors who stepped up and really made these characters come to life. It's always one of those nights I look forward to. It's exciting. It's real quality stuff, and you guys should all be really proud. Someone talked about the Brazen Tavern. I did reach out to them, and they've had a really hard time of it. So I told them to let me know when they were open, and that we would, because they can't even, since they're in the theater district, they really don't even have any room to come out onto the sidewalk. So Geraldine said, she said, it's been tough. We're not sure where we're going to be. I said, well, we will be there for you like you were there for us. Let me know when you're open, and we'll blast it all over the internet.
Absolutely. I know, David, you said, sorry, you look forward to all these labs. We do have Lab 36 coming up shortly. We've got playwrights Mark Hopmeyer, who is the king of stage directions today, David Michael Kirby, who's on here, and Fernandi Vieira as well. And looks like, David, you will be hosting that one.
Yeah.
So,
Fernando Vieira, I think. I have to ask him how to pronounce that. I think I always get it
some of
wrong.
the names tonight as well. I do apologize for that. I do my best. So I apologize if anyone if I did that. But so that's the next one coming up. So if you guys liked what you saw today, please again find those links to give the writers feedback. And if you want to keep on here and chat with Benny D and everybody else with a little drink, we're gonna keep.
I'll be your spiritual guru. I will be your spiritual guru.
The acting doodle is live for 36. I think we posted it in the comments, and it will be live on the website as well as on Facebook by tomorrow. So please come back, everyone, and sign up to act. That's it. We in 3 hours, our fundraiser, as everyone probably knows, a lot of you gave. The fundraiser to recoup our losses from brown paper tickets was phenomenal. We made our money back and a lot more. We're very, very thankful to everyone who gave and everyone who liked and supported and shared. And every cent of it is going towards programming with our festivals and our come in. Whatever our programming is moving forward. So thank you. It really saved us.
Happy birthday, Luis.
And happy birthday, Luis. I forgot.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
So
Happy birthday.
We're gonna sign off. Everyone, I guess, wave goodbye. Jackie,
Jackie, great
did a
job.
phenomenal job, Jackie.
Jackie.
And that's it. Say goodbye, Jackie. Bring us out of this.
Thank you all so much. And I